Daybreak News. Many thanks for joining us. I am Shola Fumi Oguntuashe. The Ekiti State Government has directed the Office of the Surveyor General to commence the process for proper physical demarcation between Ekpe and Osun Ekiti in the mobile local government area of the state. The communities had last year withdrawn their land case pending before the government and set up a land dispute resolution committee headed by Professor Anyon Adeleke and Professor Wole Adebayo to spearhead a peace initiative through which the matter was resolved amicably. The Ekiti State Deputy Governor Okenlua Munisade Afuye, who interfaced with the stakeholders in Ado Ekiti, praised the leadership of the communities for being magnanimous to shift resolution of the crisis. The Deputy Governor said the towns had been able to lay a strong precedent in boundary resolution process in the state by the decision to settle the crisis using internal mechanism. In the report of the committee presented by Professor Wole Adebayo, the two communities consented to put the boundary at River Alagada and River Ose after concessions were made from both sides. The Elekwe of Ekpe, Oba Tolagbe Olakoye, and Olosun of Osun, Oba Tajuddin Jimo, in the report agreed on a common boundary that can engender peaceful coexistence between them. The monarchs commended Governor Biodun Oyebanji's administration for ensuring peace and security in all towns. The Ekiti State Governor, Mr. Biodun Oyebanji, will tomorrow by 6 in the evening interact with the people of the state on the program tagged Meet Your Governor. The program will be broadcast live on the EKTV, Ekiti FM, Progress FM, Adaba FM, among others. The January edition of the Environmental Sanitation holds this morning. The Commissioner for Environmental and Natural Resources, Mrs. Tosin Aluko Ajishafe, said that there would be restriction for both human and vehicular movement during the exercise except those on official duties. The Commissioner urged the residents to tidy up their environment and dispose their waste properly. Workers of the Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko, Ondo State, have grounded activities at the state institution over the alleged failure of the institution to implement the 35,000 naira palliative wage award approved to cushion the effect of the full subsidy removal. The workers, under the auspices of the Joint Action Committee of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, the Non-Academic Staff Union, and the National Association of Academic Technologists, said the palliative had not been received by the staff members of the university since its payment began in Ondo State in November 2023. The protesters said their action was staged to appeal to the state government and the school authorities to grant them the payment as other state workers had been receiving theirs, except the employees of the tertiary institution in Ondo State. And the Supreme Court has upheld the judgment that convicted and sentenced the former chairman of the then House of Representatives Ad-hoc Committee on Food Subsidy Probe, Mr. Farouk Lawan, to 5 years in prison for bribery. The Apex Court, in a unanimous decision by a 5-member panel, dismissed as lacking in merit and appealed the former lawmaker, who has been in prison custody since 2021, filed to challenge his conviction. Lawan had, among other things, contended that he was not allowed to make a plea for leniency by the trial court before it jailed him. The Lagos State Government says plans are in advanced stages of establishing an airline for operations. The State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, gave the information in Ikeja during the Lagos West Senatorial District Town Hall meeting. According to Sanwo-Olu, the idea of having a state-owned airport has been in deliberation for several months and is in the final stages of determining the financial model for the project. Sanwo-Olu also said construction of the long-awaited 37-kilometer fourth mainland bridge will begin by the end of March or April. In another development, the Nigeria Customs Service Tinkan Island Command has intercepted cocaine, arms and ammunition worth 4.3 billion naira. The Comptroller General of Customs, Adewale Adeniyi, gave the information while addressing journalists during the handing over of the seized contraband at the command. Adeniyi said that the seized contraband came from South Africa and Canada. He added that the command also intercepted Colorado indica weighing 32.5 kilograms. The head of service of the Federation, Dr. Folashade Yemieson, has charged desk officers in ministries, extra-ministerial departments, and agencies on the strict implementation of the group life assurance policy and prompt payment of death benefits to beneficiaries of deceased civil servants across the country. The HOSF gave the charge in a meeting facilitated by the Insurance Administration Department in the OHCSF and insurance desk officers. We apologize for the break in transmission. We take the story again of the head of service of the Federation, Dr. Folashade Yemi Eso, who charged the desk officer in ministries, extra-ministerial departments, and agencies on the strict implementation of the group life assurance policy and prompt payment of death benefits to beneficiaries of deceased civil servants across the country. The HOSF gave the charge in a meeting facilitated by the Insurance Administration Department in the OHCSF and insurance desk offices in various MDAs as well as the paramilitary formations in Abuja, represented by the Director overseeing the Office of the Permanent Secretary Service Welfare, Dr. Kemi Adeosun. The head of service of the Federation appealed to the officers to embrace the culture of continuous improvement for expeditious payment of claims by government-accredited insurance brokers. She reiterated that quick processing of necessary documentation of the deceased personnel will also help in facilitating adequate budgetary provisions, stressing that the OHCSL will no longer tolerate lateness or delay in processing of benefits accrued to civil servants who died while in active service. And to foreign, the United Nations top court has said that Israel must prevent genocidal acts in Gaza and facilitate urgently needed humanitarian aid into the besieged territory. Handing down rulings in a case that has drawn global attention, the court urged Israel to refrain from any possible genocidal act as it presses its military operation in the Gaza Strip, but stopped short of ordering a ceasefire. At this stage, the ICJ was not considering whether Israel was actually committing genocide in Gaza, where process would take several years. But the court warned Israel to take all measures in its power to prevent acts that could fall under the UN Genocide Convention set up in 1948 as the world reeled from the horrors of the Nazi Holocaust. It also said Israel should prevent and punish any incitement to genocide. The case was brought by South Africa, which has accused Israel of breaching the UN Genocide Convention. And that's the size of our bulletin for Daybreak News. Do enjoy your weekend.